Hello friends, this is Manju Veghan. Today we will be discussing the chapter of 10th class geography book. The name of this chapter is Resource and Development, as I have already mentioned this name on the board. If we talk of this chapter, resources that are the things available on this planet Earth which we are using. Since the immortal times, the civilizations have occurred over here on this planet. So all the resources that are available on this earth, we as human beings are utilizing them. The other word is development. We cannot use a resource that is just taken out of from the earth. Example, petroleum. It is in a crude form. We cannot use the resource crude form petroleum in any ways unless it is developed, processed and refined for our further utilization. That is why over here we are interacting with the chapter that is called resources and development. How we take out the resource and then we develop it and use it. If I come to the triangle which I have drawn on this board, in the center I have written human beings. Human beings means the most important resource on this planet is human beings. All the resources that we develop, they are for one main resource, and that is human beings. All the resources that are present on the planet Earth are in the physical environment. It has three corners, that is nature, technology and institutions. One by one we will discuss about all these three. First, talking of humans, that is the main resource, and this resource utilizes the resources that are present in the nature. If I talk of natural resources, I can give you examples. For example, we have coal. For example, we have fossil fuel. Now these are resources which are taken from the nature earth, then they are processed. These things, they are processed, and with the help of technology, they are converted into usable items. As I gave you the example earlier also, coal which comes from the earth in a crude form through the process of mining. We refine it, pure it, and then we use it in different places wherever it is necessary. Earlier, for example, we used to have steam engines in which coal was utilized. We have industries where coal was burnt. We have thermal plants where coal is burnt and electricity is produced. So it is a fossil fuel which could be utilized with the help of energy. Institutions, coal which is utilized with the help of technology and used in different forms. Now what we mean by institutions? Institutions means the places where all these things are processed. Natural resources are processed. That are places are called institutions. We have different technological institutions present where these natural resources are processed. The next is resources. Now resources are of two types. If I talk of one are natural resources and the other are human resources. As we have already discussed over here that human beings are the most important resource. Coming to this topic, if I talk of natural resources, they are of two types, renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Talking of renewable resources, the resources which could be renewed again and again. That is, example, air, water, examples of renewable resources. Water, as we have already discussed, that it is a process in which the water changes from one cycle to another, giving us again the solid, liquid and gaseous form, and it is circulating on the planet in the same quantity as it was in the beginning. It has neither decreased nor it has increased. And if I talk of air, air is a process that is enveloping a layer of gases enveloping the planet and is always present everywhere on the planet in an equal form. The other topic is non-renewable resources. If I talk of non-renewable resources, the examples could be the resources which will be present on the earth nowadays, and if we use them recklessly without thinking about the future generation, they will finish one day. Examples can be, we have already mentioned these examples over here also, that is coal, petroleum, and many more. There could be examples of this. These are non-renewable resources. What we say non-renewable resources means once they are finished, they will never appear on earth unless it takes millions of years to regenerate them. Now, obviously, if we are using these resources recklessly without considering it about the future generation, they are not going to be there for the coming up generations, and if we think of them, they will be present after so many millions of years ago. So that is not a lifespan of a human being. So as we discussed, the resources are for human being. If they are used recklessly, they will not reappear for the generation that is going to come and will appear after millions of years ago. Now if I come to the next portion of this divider line which I have drawn, over here I talk of human resources. Now these resources are structural and institutionals. Structural and institutional. Now, if I talk of institutional and structural resources, resources which are present on the earth, whatever we take from them, they will be harvested only after they are processed through the institutions. The institutions process them. If a resource is harvested from the earth, another thing must have to be cleared, and that is the quality and quantity of the resource. Two factors I am discussing. Quality and quantity. Now what do we mean by quality and quantity? For example, if we have found out somewhere that a resource is present and we harvest that resource, the quality of the resource, what is the quality? Is it in a good position or is it just a meshy place where the resource is being found? Quality of the resource, is it good or not? Can we harvest it? and use it, or it is just a wastage of time and money, both. On the other is quantity, how much material is present. For example, if we come across that oil is present somewhere and we go and search for that oil, we find that the reserve under the earth is not in abundance. Abundance means it is not in great quantity. We will harvest it, use it, put technology over it, put our finance over it, but it lasts only for, say for example, few years only. For example, we find an oil reserve somewhere and we find that the reserve is not in abundance. That means the resource which we are going to harvest is will not be available for a longer period of time. That means we are wasting energy and our finance on that resource. So only that resource would be harvested which is in great quantity. So I hope the topic is quite clear to you. The rest of the topics we will discuss in the next video. Thank you.